In regards to the Thursday night matchup, it's I mean, the spread is high. Look, whenever you see a team catching over 14 points, I always say, okay, can I make a case for this team in the NFL? And I don't know if I can here with the Jets. I really don't. And one of the things that one of the things that I've always said with the Ravens this year is there's a shock factor, right? With their unique offense, with Lamar Jackson, teams aren't used to seeing him and the Ravens, and they get out and they get a lead, right? So they'll come out and the Ravens will punch you in the mouth. They're one of the best teams in the NFL in the first quarter. And then they can play their defense how they want to play their defense, which is man up on the outside and blitz everyone. And these are actually two of the heaviest blitzing teams in the NFL. You have Wake Martindale, loves to blitz just the house at all times. And then you have Greg Williams, who likes to blitz as well. The Ravens' offensive line and their quarterback is a little more equipped to handle the blitz than Sam Darnold and the Jets' offensive line. Sam Darnold's been under pressure in over 41% of his dropbacks. That's second in the NFL behind only Daniel Jones, the other New York quarterback. Lamar has only been pressured around 32, 33%. Ronnie Stanley and that offensive line really helps in that regard. And then when under pressure, Darnold's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Lamar's been one of the best. The only quarterback that's been better under pressure this year is your boy, Patty Mahomes. When you look at this game on the surface, you say the Jets' run defense, maybe it can hang against the Ravens, and you have, the quad issue for Lamar. He's going to play, but maybe the Ravens pass a little more than usual. Maybe if they get up, they say, all right, let's make sure that we're not running Lamar. This is a short week, and they get more conservative once they get a lead. So there's two sides to that. But I don't think the Jets' run defense is as good as it was, just a few weeks ago. Adams, you have Williams, Leonard Williams, Jamal Adams. I mean, they're banged up, and their secondary is banged up. The one thing I do trust here is the Ravens' defense. I think the line is about right. I don't think I can justify laying this number. I would look at the under. Now, if the Ravens come out throwing, they throw all over the Jets, and the short week it just hurts the Jets here. Not only on their road, they're an inferior team. It's less prep time for Lamar. So I'm looking at the under here, potentially maybe going just with the Jets team total under, in case of a just Ravens scoring in the first 4 or 5 possessions like we saw against the Rams. So that's where I'm at here. This is a big mismatch for the Ravens, but I do think that their main goal will be, we speak of the injuries, who's healthy? The Ravens, and they are scary. It's scary how healthy they are. And I think that they want to get out of here with this game. They want to just get out healthy. So if they have a big lead, you could just see them sit and run the ball even quicker than they normally do. How about you? What do you think here?
Yeah, so I'm with you. I actually wrote up the under in our betting preview for this game, which will be on actionnetwork.com and in the Action Network app by the time you listen to this. And my reasoning was pretty similar. I just don't think, it usually takes two. Now, sometimes the Ravens, as you said, they can lay a big number and hit and just kind of cover themselves. But usually you need something from the other team. And I just don't see it for the Jets. The Ravens have only allowed one team over the past 8 games to even score 20 points, and that was the Patriots, and they scored exactly 20. They have just been lights out on defense. You mentioned that they're pretty healthy on defense, and the Jets, Ryan Griffin, who has been a contributor in terms of pass catching, he's out. Bilal Powell, backup running back, is out. You have Demaryius Thomas still banged up. So the Jets are thinner than usual on an offense that can't really afford it. You also have, Kelvin Beachum, offensive, the left tackle. He's banged up as well. So a lot of injuries for the Jets. And then when you flip it over, looks like Lamar obviously going to play, but we're a little bit limited in practice, as you mentioned, kind of a game where you want to just get out of there healthy. And the one thing that I think is going a little overlooked is that Ronnie Stanley is actually doubtful with a concussion. He's not going to clear protocol. So it looks like he's probably going to be out. So this is a game where the Jets still have a decent run defense, not nearly as good without missing a ton of key pieces, mainly Adams and Leonard Williams, as mentioned, going to the Giants. But it just doesn't set up really as a total smash spot for the Ravens, a spot where they run up the score. I think if they have some success, and of course they will, it's Lamar Jackson against a bad team, but if they have some success, I think they'll kind of play it close to the vest, run the ball, get Gus Edwards, Justice Hill involved, and maybe you'll see some Robert Griffin, and they'll just try to get out of there with a home victory and improve to what would be 12-2. So I like the under. I got it at 45.5. It looks like it's 45 across the board at this point, but I think the under is the play in this game.
Yep, I completely agree. I just don't see how the Jets can hang in this game and keep up. And look, by the way, I got to pat myself on the back for Marcus Peters. He's been, if you look at Pro Football Focus, everywhere you look, he's been one of the best corners in the NFL. And that defense can just do so many different things with the corners that they have. And they're just blitzing from everywhere. It's such a hard defense to prepare for. And that's, and additionally, the offense too. It's Lamar Jackson's his unique rushing attack, and they're like it. Having a short week here, going on the road against such a superior team, it's going to be tough for the Jets here. Sam Darnold might be seeing ghosts again.
Oh yeah, and I kind of feel bad for our editors because they got myself, Sean Corner, and Matthew Friedman of the Action Network to do a roundtable a few days ago, or maybe it was last week, on our Super Bowl pick, and we all just said the Ravens, so it really wasn't much of a roundtable at all. I think with that defense and the way Lamar is playing, they can kind of get through the playoffs. Well, it would be 3 games essentially if they get a bye, and not really get into a situation where they're trailing. That's perfectly possible. Now, I think if they are trailing, they could be vulnerable, just because they are a little bit thin at pass catcher and are going to need to rely on Jackson to do a lot potentially quickly at times, which is not always the Ravens' MO. But this is just a team that, if they can get a lead, as you mentioned, they're tough to beat, but can't make a case for betting the Jets here, even though I do like to target some of these big spreads. Just I think
Lev Bell's going to have to. The offensive line isn't that good. He's going to have to find. I don't even know if he's going to be bowling or if he's going to be at this game. But I just don't know how they can keep up without flukes. And the Ravens' special teams are so solid; they don't really turn the ball over. It's just it's Ravens or nothing. But I think you're right on the under look as well.
I mean, and you always kind of worry about a Jets no-show. I mean, Le'Veon Bell, if that's where his attitude's at, because they said he was, seen bowling. It was only a few hours after the game, and he sat out the game with an illness, which is, strange. I mean, I'm not knocking the guy for playing hooky if that's what he wanted to do. I think we've all done it as kids in school, but it seems like a much more serious thing when you're getting paid millions of dollars. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but he's probably going to, by default, be only like the focal point of the offense, because you don't expect any of the Jets receivers to do much against those Ravens.